yeah, we gotta see this. My friend Eric at the Bernard Ave, his knife work's getting a little sloppy. I thought this might be the perfect stocking stuffer.
That's right. One chop, you have like a French fry sized potato. Couple more chops, you got potato salad or for soups and stews.
Wow, I could fire half my cooks.
It's bulky, it can't be sharpened, and it only does one thing. Hey, I'm sold. But I can't just hoard this culinary miracle all to myself. Who else might want one?
See, one for Emerald, one for Bobby. Oh, who am I forgetting? Martha will be needing one of these for sure.
As much as I want to linger over my gift list, there's just too much to see here. What does the Mall of America have to offer next?
The cereal adventure.
It's overwhelming. As a child, I longed for the wonderful Sugar Jack rush of brightly colored cereals, expressly forbidden in the Bourdain household. But now, thanks to Mall of America, a childhood dream is finally realized.
Tricks on a stick.
The sugar content in this one-tooth decaying treat more than makes up for a decade of fruity cereal goodness I was deprived of as a youth.
I gotta call my dentist. Ah, nature. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? In fact, you may not know this, but the first season of Cook's Show was filmed entirely in Mall of America. You know the fabulous Mexican barbecue scene? Shot right here. We shoot all of our nature and outdoor footage here in the central Cook's Tourist Studio. And of course, you remember the Cambodian bar scene? And of course, all those underwater scenes. Vietnam, Mexico, St. Martin, shot here.
Amazing, isn't it? Now, where's that scary food court?
Well, I think now's the time, since I am in Minnesota, for some local, regional, indigenous fare.
Mall of America style, of course. As you could have guessed, the usual suspects are front and center. But I'm looking for something more local in my food court experience.
Wait a minute, Minnesota picnic. Now this sounds like regional, the real deal, right? This has got to be authentic. What do they eat in Minnesota anyway? Cheese curds and pike on a stick.
That's pike on a stick, all right. Frozen, ready, deep-fried, and a heaping side of cheese curds, also deep-fried to golden, crispy perfection. Now, you know what you're thinking. Totally. Food that's fried. Food that contains cheese. Food that's on a stick. Can it get any better than that?
Oh, yeah?
At the Minnesota picnic, yes. Yes, it can. The deep-fried cheesecake. Guaranteed to make your cardiologist busier and wealthier.
Deep-fried cheesecake. All right. Good to go. Pike on a stick. Cheese curds. Oh, it's like batter fried string cheese. And this is a tradition I don't know whether it's spread. Oh, Jesus God, that's awful. It's like, doctor, I'm not getting fat enough. How may I hasten the process? This is perhaps our most dangerous export. It was never nuclear weapons of the CIA. It was this, our fast food culture. It's a terrible sameness, a lowering of expectations, and the ease and convenience of having it all within reach of one's pudgy fingers. Hey, skinny, have a cheese curd. Have a cheese curd. Cheese curd. Join us.
Maybe it's the cheese curds.
And the world's thought leaders, a view of global indexes and asset classes, and live streaming TV and radio shows at Bloomberg.com.
What do you get when you become a Citi Thank You Premier Card member? 30,000 points when you spend $2,000. That's right, 30,000 Thank You Reward points. And what can you get with those 30,000 points?
I got this Toshiba Flat Screen TV.
I redeemed my points for a Canon digital camera to take on vacation.
We used our points to get $300 in gift cards for our nephews.
In addition to 30,000 thank you points, you also get a companion airline ticket on us right away. And another airline ticket every year after that. Call 800-332-2172 now. Become a card member and you'll earn 30,000 thank you points plus airline tickets. And you'll earn 2 points for every dollar spent on dining and travel in your first 12 months. Plus, no annual fee for the first year. There are no point caps, no expiration on points, and no blackout dates. Call 800-332-2172 today for your Citi Thank You Premier Card. Or visit Citi.com/rewards.
I went to Ancestry.com, and these leaf hints led me to my great-grandfather Ernesto and his brothers, all barbers. I come from a long line of hair.
Get started with your family history at Ancestry.com, and we'll help you make your own discoveries.
Finally, business TV on your iPad. Introducing Bloomberg TV Plus. It's Bloomberg Television live 24/7. Plus original programming, exclusive interviews, and an extensive library of on-demand shows. With related content, personalized playlists, and the ability to download videos for offline viewing. Bloomberg TV Plus is in a class by itself. Consider all future vacation time officially compromised. Sorry. Download the free iPad app today.
Sarah Eisen's back with a foreign exchange-free street news. Sarah, what do you have this hour?
Exchange-free. Jefferies beefing up its credit team, going after Citigroup's former head of distressed debt trading. Rohit Bansal will start at Jefferies next week. The firm is adding traders as speculative-grade debt had its best start to the year since back in 2003. Jefferies declined to comment. And speaking of distressed debt, Oaktree, the world's largest distressed debt investor, is going public. It's looking to raise over $500 million. According to the filing, all of the proceeds Oaktree receives will be used to buy interest from the firm's principals, employees, and investors. Oaktree raised about $1 billion back in 2007 when it sold a 15% stake. The fund manages about $75 billion. And Tom, on the topic of going public, investors have been skeptical about the IPO market, with IPOs raising the lowest amount since 2009, clocking in at around $16 billion. Yet, Facebook may spur a rebound in the market. The social media site planning a $5 billion offering in May, which would make it the biggest offering for an internet company in history. Maybe you heard of it.
Yeah,
Facebook.
that would be true. Facebook. We're going to talk about that in 2 seconds. Sarah, thank you so much. Okay, folks, double barrel, great Bloomberg Business Week, Steve Jobs' last war, and then you open it up right in time for Guy Kawasaki's release of What the Plus. Watch your back, Google, and they got this great graphic guy of, it's a Google page except it says Facebook on it. Guy Kawasaki with us as we talk about What the Plus. Why is everybody going after Google? Why is Apple going after Google? Why is Facebook going after Google?
Well, because if you control the world's search traffic, that's a very good thing to own. And you know, there are many alternate devices, right? I mean, you can buy a Samsung tablet, an Apple tablet, HTC tablet, Motorola tablet, but where does everybody go? Just you know, total gut reaction. When you want to search for something, where do you go? Google.
I totally agree.
That's a great habit to be the owner of.
I'm old enough to remember a guy, Dogpile, which was pre-Google, and the fact is we go to Google because it works. Is that due to their patent quality? What is the secret sauce that makes me go to Google?
You know, Google has a lot of smart people. I mean, they really understand the search business beyond anybody else. So, and then it becomes sort of this upward spiral where the more people search at Google, the more people want to search at Google, the more people want to search, the more people search, and then you get the resources to continually make it a better search engine. You know, when you're hitting it on all cylinders, I mean, life is good.
Guy, I'm honored to ask you this question, which is, I love David Kirkpatrick's The Facebook Effect, because it shows that these young kids that write the code and are thinking up the concepts that you report on each and every day, they're really smart and they're really different. What is the number one thing me and my viewers get wrong about these smart kids that write code? What's the thing we most get wrong about the code writers of Silicon Valley?
You probably ascribe too much of their motivation to making money. I think the genesis of the great tech companies from Silicon Valley It was two guys in a garage, two gals in a garage, a guy and a gal in a garage, and they were not answering the question, how do we make money? They were answering the question, wouldn't it be neat if? So wouldn't it be neat if there was a personal computer? Wouldn't it be neat if there was a better way to search? Wouldn't it be neat if there was a way to upload video and share it? Wouldn't it be neat if there would be a place where I could sell Pez dispensers online? So that's the question that, geeks and nerds in Silicon Valley are answering. But I think the rest of the world thinks that they're asking the question, how do we make a boatload of money?
I totally agree with a bit of an engineering background. And to me, when you say what if, it's an applied questioning, an applied background that's so strong out there and so misrepresented by this word innovation. I go back to technological progress. How does Guy Kawasaki define the word innovation?
I would define innovation as creating products and services for people prior to them realizing that they need it.
I like that idea. How do you define Steve Jobs' wonderful use of the word aesthetic? This idea of design and aesthetic that certain companies have.
When you look up in the dictionary the word aesthetic, it should say, see Steve Jobs and have a picture of him. He had this great sense for what elegance is, how people want to interact with a computer or a phone or a tablet or an MP3 device. I think that was one of the keys to his success, that he truly understood, what people wanted before they could articulate it themselves, and he also understood how to minimize the difficulty of interaction between person and machine.
Guy, thank you so much. Guy Kawasaki, in celebration of What the Plus, Google Plus for the rest of it. Trust me, folks, it's not just about silly little circles and all that. There's a lot going on there. I love the YouTube functionality. We haven't talked much about Europe today, a little bit with John Manley. Here's a great research note from the morning. Bookfire over at Miller Tabak. We can't ignore the circular nature of the bailout funds, where Italy and Spain are contributing money to an entity that could eventually be used in turn to bail them out. And I'm watching right now the 10-year yield there. The Spain 10-year yield. Yes, not ours. 5.35%. We're going to come back. Hans Nichols with us. We look at budgets in Washington. Surveillance midday.
Technology moves at the speed of now. Blink and you may miss something. We don't blink.
Moving Zynga stock is pretty interesting.
What's the buzz in the valley right now?
Weeknight, 6 and 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 and 11 p.m. Pacific.
Bloomberg West, the future of business.
Bloomberg Surveillance Midday is brought to you by Interactive Brokers. Stocks, options, futures, forex, and bonds worldwide at lower cost. Visit interactivebrokers.com for more information.
Occupy Wall Street. Get an edge by doing your research and trading with Interactive Brokers. Pay lower commissions. Get better stock loan rates. Lower margin rates. Better executions. Transparent bond markets. More products at lower trading costs. Interactive Brokers. Join the 1%. Solutions help millions of people by helping to make gluten-free bread that doesn't taste gluten-free. And that makes this bread the first bread we can all enjoy. Together, the elements of science and the human element can solve anything. Solutionism, the new optimism.
You look so beautiful, but you're about to lose it.
You're going to lose everything.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here.
You're gonna lose your files.
There's no warning when you lose your computer files. That's why you need Carbonite Online Backup. So whatever happens, your files are safe. Try it for free at Carbonite.com.
I finally quit smoking. It was the smartest thing I've ever done. There was always a reason to put it off.
And then a friend told me about 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
They gave me a quit coach to help make a real plan.
And it was free.
I'm a quitter.
You know what? You can be too.
Let's do an end-of-quarter data check.
We apologize for the unavoidable data check.
Each and every day unavoidable. There it is, 13,200. The VIX, 1550. Sterling, 160 handle earlier this morning, 159.94. Stronger. Pound sterling. Brent from 125 down to 122.93. Hans Nichols with us at the White House as we mop up the quarter. And for me, the without question seminal event of the quarter was the Ryan budget. Hans, I read every word of the CBO report on it. Let's bring up the number right now to get the discussion going on. 24% federal spending to GDP. Let's bring it up here. The number's 24%. Federal spending to GDP. And the Republicans want to drive it down to 16% by 2050. What has been the response of Washington to such a draconian reduction in spending?
Well, here at the White House, it's been sheer, unadulterated glee. There really is no other way to describe it. They've been waiting for Ryan's budget because the first budget that he did last year had a lot of big cuts for Medicare. They were looking forward to run against that. They were very happy when Romney embraced that budget. Romney's come closer to embracing this budget as well. For the White House, they see this as another chance to turn this election into a choice and not a referendum. So anytime they can make some sort of distinction or have a contrast with where they want to take the country, with what Republicans do, they welcome it, they focus all their attention onto it.
And whatever your political beliefs, the historical perspective of this is valid. Let's bring up this note from a great article, Rich Miller and Brian Failer for Bloomberg. Ryan budget makes Republicans pre-Sputnik. The last time federal spending was at that 16% level, Harry Truman was president and Nat King Cole ruled the pop charts. I know you were at the White House at that time, Hans, but I would suggest this is an abrupt shift. Do the Republicans genuinely believe they can get spending back to 16% of GDP?
Yeah, great question. What they believe is that you put dynamic scoring into it, and you actually have an explosive economic growth because you lower the tax rates. That's how you get to the 16%. Look, I mean, these are theoretical arguments. The Republicans are for them for ideological reasons. It's their priorities. Same reason why Democrats are for their budget. It's a way to articulate and enunciate priorities. These budgets never go anywhere. They're here's what we'd like to do, and it's really just an ideological sonnet that you send to your base.
I'll go with that, and they never matter or they never go anywhere. Will fiscal policy be part of this election debate, say after Labor Day or even after October 1st?
No, not if you expected there to be any changes in fiscal policy, because there won't be any changes until the election. And then we'll have big changes in the lame duck session. I mean, we could potentially have changes in monetary policy going forward, but I don't see any big fiscal changes in direction from now until November. And the White House has basically conceded that. They say their top priority was getting that payroll tax extension done. Now, I don't see anything else happening.
I want to bring this chart up quickly here. This is a classic from the CBO, Doug Elmendorf. This is something like debt, 1940, and you can see the World War II explosion. Carolyn Bow with a terrific Bloomberg View op-ed this week, alluding to that spike up after World War II, and you can see the two glide paths CBO has. Okay, enough on the debt. Hans Nichols, you're working day to day, hour to hour at the White House. The president's focused on oil. Set my date card for this afternoon. Why do I care about oil and President Obama?
So in December, the president signed a law that put into sanctions on any sort of financial institution that settles oil accounts with Iran. There are a lot of triggers in that law that he signed at the end of the year. One of them, the deadline is today. The president has to decide whether or not the law can go forward. So today he has a chance to say, let's stop this law, let's stop the sanctions from taking place. These sanctions wouldn't take place until June 28th, but today is an opportunity for him to put the brakes on. It'll be interesting interesting to see just what he does. The vibe we're getting is that there isn't a huge push to put the brakes on, but we won't know until we hear from the president and his aides.
Hans, we'll get you back when gasoline's $5 a gallon. Hans Nichols at the White House. Read this. Read this. This is my book of the spring and in the summer. This is a great book. John Bogle, Charlie Ellis Lubbock, John Tapp of RBC Capital Markets, Stewardship, Lessons Learned from the Lost Culture of Wall Street. I was like, yeah, okay, sort of, kind of like. Let me tell you, was I surprised? It's a wonderful book. We'll be back. Surveillance Midday.
The show is really structured around the opening bell. So what we do is we give viewers the most important market information. We bring them the top interviews from the biggest newsmakers. We give them all that information as you head towards the bell so that viewers know what to do with their money.
Today's S&P 500 Most Active by Volume Data Board is brought to you by Oppenheimer Funds. Globalize your thinking. Today's S&P 500 Most Active by Volume Data Board was brought to you by Oppenheimer Funds. Visit globalizeyourthinking.com.
For the first time ever, Cash Call can refi your 30-year fixed mortgage for 3.875% rate and APR with no